Are $1 million deals made on the show floor?
$1 million deals are originated on the show floor. Everybody's in that room for a reason.
Jason, you've been in sales for your whole career. What are some of the challenges and rewards of being a high-level salesperson?
The challenges are pretty obvious. It's kind of hard to get in touch with prospects these days. It's a unique selling environment out there, and you really have to have a good story, and you have to have some stick-to-itiveness to actually connect with people. The rewards are obvious, and most good salespeople do end up rising to the top. The compensation can be fruitful, but intrinsically, if you're a true salesperson, when you find someone that needs what you're selling, oh baby, it's a beautiful thing.
How many trade shows have you been to?
So professionally, I'd probably say a couple hundred, 250, 300. Not, to be honest with you.
Where you're on the show floor.
Yeah.
Selling, okay.
Yeah, or taking care of clients. That's just a guess. I attend trade shows in my personal life, whether it's an auto show or something with my son. Grew up going to the Giant Stadium flea market every Saturday morning. That's a trade show. It's people with stuff trying to find people that need stuff. That's a trade show. People don't quite, wrap their heads around that. I think that the more interesting thing is, in my career, many of my trips were as much as 2 weeks: Singapore, Dubai, Geneva, London, Paris. We'd go for 3 or 4 days of build-up, 3 or 4 days of the show, sometimes even a day of teardown. You got a day of travel both ways. So these were marathons. So I easily think that I've spent at least 1,000 days in trade show halls, wearing a name badge. And by the way, second little anecdote here. Ask me how many of my 300 approximate name badges I still have.
How many?
0.
0, okay.
It's a superstition of mine. I throw every name badge away before I get on that plane home. It's something I've done my whole career. I know friends, colleagues, save every name badge. It's like heads on a wall, right? Yeah. There's something about throwing a name badge away that is cathartic to me. That shows history. Now it's about the follow-up. Now it's about the future. On to the next show. I also like to travel light. So who needs an old name badge? The show's over. Why would you keep your name badge?
It's like the NFL player who's got the superstition, like, I'm not going to wash my jersey the entire season kind
Chicken
of thing.
parm before the game at 4 o'clock. Yeah, my superstition is I throw every name badge away as quick as I can.
Okay.
I saw, I conquered. Who needs the badge?
That's right. Now you got to go look somewhere else and conquer there.
That's right.
So with that said, if you were given your experience and you're talking to somebody in the manufacturing industry, say they sell transformers and they're going to, the International Manufacturing Technology Show, right? What kind of tips would you give them to, for selling on the show floor?
Well, look, selling in a trade show it can be a bizarre environment. For starters, you're wearing a name badge. That's not normal. You don't wear a name badge in your life. Yeah. Number two, there's a very good chance that most of your competitors are in the room. So what are you doing to separate yourself from your competition? And you should never be afraid of that. I used to sell exhibit space in show halls, and it's funny. I used to have some exhibit coordinators say, oh, no, that's our competitor. We want to be super far from them. And then I'd have other people that say, put us right next to them because we're better than them, right? So I would always suggest to sales staff, number one, get the attendee list. Know who's going to be there. Oftentimes a show produces an attendee list. Got to ask for it or download it. Sometimes it won't have contact information or even the person's name, but you could even see titles or their company. If you can be prepared, maybe set up some meetings before the show, that's the way to go. I've received emails from clients or prospects where at the bottom of the email there's like a graphic. Come see us at that manufacturing show, booth 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, talk about just using your noodle there. I mean, it's just common sense. If you secure a booth space and you have a booth number, you got to do everything in your power to start promoting that you're going to be there. So be prepared, be engaging, don't push your agenda on anybody. Know who's going to be walking the floor, and be comfortable with speed dating, because that's what selling in trade shows is.
Nice. And piggybacking off that, what mistakes do you see a lot of booth staff people make the most?
Not doing anything that I just said. I'll say something here that I haven't told really anyone before, but I take a lot of pictures when I'm at trade shows because I see a lot of bad actors there, a lot of bad habits, a lot of crazy stuff. Yeah. I don't share those. I mean, it's not like I publish them anywhere. It's the last thing I'd want to do is embarrass somebody who's at a trade show because they clearly are there for a reason. But there's a lot of people who don't engage. A lot of people never walk the show floor themselves, so they never leave their exhibit. People with their noses buried in their laptops. I just don't understand it. I don't get it. In addition to that, trade shows, so the event is the thing, right? It's this 4-day Super Bowl of whatever sector you're in. But there's a whole suite, a whole agenda of events going on, whether it's a social coffee, it could be a PM reception. Heck, sometimes it's held by exhibitors or sponsors or the show itself. There's happy hours. Get out there, press the flesh. Yeah. That's why you're there. You're not there to just, all right, let me bang out this. I'm going to sit in this booth from 9 to 4 and then that's it. No, it's a week-long, action-packed networking opportunity. And as a salesperson, I would always be thinking, if I don't go to that reception at 5:30, of course I'm tired. My feet are killing me. I get it. I want to go check something, the baseball stadium in that host market. I get all that. Yeah. But you never know what can happen, who you're going to bump into if you just put yourself out there and take a look at the whole event schedule and try to get to something other than the actual trade show itself.
It's interesting that you see people who are glued to their computers inside their exhibits. I mean, when I walk into retail stores, I don't see that. Not nearly as much as you might at a trade show. The people who are, walking around, inside their retail stores, they're moving around. They're walking around amongst their products. They're welcoming you as you come in. I don't often see them on the phones.
Yeah, look, when you're traveling to trade shows, and this should resonate with anyone watching this. Is anyone watching this? I don't.
Yeah. Chris is.
Well, we have Taylor Swift and The Rock coming in for the last 30 seconds,
That's
which
true.
is amazing that we got them here.
Stay tuned.
My God, but you got to watch the whole thing in order to see The Rock and Taylor Swift. Look, trade shows are hundreds of thousands of square feet. Everybody's traveling. Everyone's away from their family. No one's eating right. No one's eating healthy. You probably skipped the gym that morning. You were in Ubers all morning or walked to the show. It can be a grind, and that can wear on you, and that can impact everything. How you act, what you say, it can impact everything. So, it's always good when a team of people go together, even if they're salespeople, commissioned salespeople, meet together in the morning. Who's having a good show? Who's having a bad show? Who needs to be picked up in some way? We're all in this together sort of thing. Yeah. A trade show is a grind. And to just be over anxious and grabbing every body that's walking down the aisle, ridiculous. To be silly and have your nose buried in your laptop all day, insane as well.
How do you stay fresh? Because you've gone to a lot of shows. You still go to a lot of shows.
How do I stay fresh?
Yes, with all the traveling, being tired,
Never
not
thought
eating
about
right.
It. Yeah.
Thought about it?
Well, I try to eat right, of course, but to be honest with you, I think this is kind of a cop-out answer, but I believe that I was probably put on this earth to talk to people and talk to strangers and walk trade shows. It's enjoyable to me. Some people legitimately hate it. And look, there's nothing wrong with that. There are certain personalities that it's not for. Maybe those people shouldn't be going to the shows. But yeah, I don't know the secret. Look, I mean, it's not easy.
But it's you feel like it's why you're here. It's kind of purpose, right?
I sleep better at night believing that, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Very cool. So are $1 million deals made on the show floor?
$100 million deals if you're selling aircraft. That was just a joke. I mean, $1 million deals are originated on the show floor. Everybody's in that room for a reason. They're in that room to make new connections that can lead to furthering their business in whatever niche, whatever way that is. Relationships are why you go to trade shows. And it takes years sometimes to figure out if the ROI gained from a certain show was worth it or not. So I hate hearing people in a trade show say, yeah, it's been a slow show for us. We might not come back to the next one. Foolish, foolish, foolish. It takes so long to cultivate, to figure out if this was worthwhile. Was this a quantity business model you were looking for where you just hope to get 5,000 business cards, or quality? Because all it takes is one lead to pan out to make that trip worthwhile if you're selling a certain value of a product. So are $1 million deals made on a show floor? Of course, sometimes I'm sure they are. But the handshakes, the $1 million handshakes are while you're there. The real work happens when you return home, and that perfect concert, that effort of tailoring what you're saying to who you're saying it, why you're saying it, and when you're saying it, based on what happened at that trade show. And trade shows would not exist if ROI wasn't coming from them. 2020 proved that. So I'm sure there are very large deals that are made at every trade show, but the beauty happens when you return home and then you put your intellect into gear and close sales there.
Yeah. Jason, we're out of time, but I'm sure people are going to want to ask more about how to follow up after leaving a trade show, just based on what you said, because I'm on the edge of my seat.
Well, I need a lesson on that as well. We all do. It's an imperfect science.
Yeah.
So we ran out of time. We don't have time to bring on Taylor Swift and The Rock. That's unbelievable.
Next episode 3.
Sorry, y'all. You're not making it on this one.
Right. Well, Jason, thank you very much for your time.
Right on, buddy.
All right.